Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. So today talking about this article, Princess Diana's lover breaks silence and claims Martin Bashir exploited her. Now this is very good only because we know that Princess Diana's lover, Hasnat Khan, loved her very much. I really do believe that. And you can tell because he never did any interviews talking about his relationship with her. I mean, much later he did after she had passed away, but he was very apprehensive about even doing that. And he's always shown a great deal of respect and commitment to her privacy and even to his own privacy for that matter. So when anytime he says something, I take what he says and I look at it as very credible and something that is going to have a pretty good accurate telling of how things are. He just has that genuine connection that I feel that he's speaking from a place that is truthful and highly probable. And that's why I thought this has to have been then the case with this Martin Bashir with exploiting Princess Diana. So Hasnat Khan, a heart surgeon who was romantically involved with Princess of Wales for 2 years, has claimed that the BBC's journalist Martin Bashir exploited Princess Diana. Mr. Khan, the heart surgeon, dubbed Mr. Wonderful by Diana during their 2-year relationship. Wouldn't you just love to see Princess Diana with him, the heart surgeon guy, and oh man, just to be able to see their relationship from afar would have been such a wonderful thing. And it's just so tragic that, well, the relationship didn't work out even when she was alive. But one of those things that it would have been a great fairy tale life for her had he wanted to have a life that Diana was going to ultimately bring him, with all the invasion of his own privacy. But I find that just such one of the most tragic things, was that relationship never got to really go to the next level because of just the complicated issues that Diana had with, you know, her previous life and what it was going to do for Hasnat and his traditions with his, you know, his culture, and it just made it very hard. But anyway, so he broke his silence about the 1995 Panorama interview. He spoke to the Daily Mail following allegations that Bashir had used forged bank statements to claim palace courtiers and former head of security for Earl Spencer, Diana's brother, were receiving cash for information on the Princess of Wales. That's quite interesting that they were receiving cash for information on the Princess of Wales. Just the deceit, the level that people will go through to deceive you, and what Diana had to go through. Like this, Bashir claimed or gained the trust of Charles Spencer before being introduced to Diana and convincing her to be interviewed for the bombshell program that sent shockwaves through the royal family before her divorce from Prince Charles. So this is the other thing. I didn't know that Charles Spencer, her brother, had wanted her to do this interview. I didn't know that. I may have read it a while ago, but I forgot about it and didn't think much of it. But that's interesting. A barrister acting for Alan Waller, Earl Spencer's former head of security, has urged the Metropolitan Police to investigate. So Lord Dyson, a former Master of the Rolls and head of the Court of Appeal, is leading an inquiry into Bashir's Panorama interview commissioned by the BBC. The inquiry is ongoing and is not yet completed. Mr. Khan, 62, said that he chose to speak to the Daily Mail after a friend of the BBC religion editor got in touch begging for help. Diana and Mr. Khan's romance began in 95 and then continued until 97, ending shortly before the princess's tragic death. And this is why I think Dodi was nothing but a rebound. She didn't love Dodi, and she wasn't pregnant by Dodi. She loved Hasnat Khan, right? And she was playing around with Dodie because she knew it was going to be all in the papers, and that Hasnat was going to see it, and she was going to be able to make him jealous. Hey, look, I'm a woman. I know. I've done it. Okay? So there's no way she was feeling on Dodie. I can tell you, I can assure you of this. This was just a rebound trying to get back at her true love, Hasnat. Okay, so Mr. Khan told the Daily Mail one of the most attractive qualities was her vulnerability. It was what endeared her to the public, and that is so true. Isn't that why we love Diana? She was just so vulnerable to this huge institution. She came in as this woman of pure quality. She just had the it factor. And this institution, this marriage gobbled her up and spit her out. And you know, my Diana, she was not, you know, infallible. She made mistakes. And I think in my older years, I can see, yeah, Diana, no, you shouldn't have been doing that. That was wrong. Like, I could say that now. I could be like keeping it real with Diana. But knowing that she's died, I take anything that I hear about her that was like her behaving badly, I look at it and like, well, she's paid her price. You know, when you die, you pay your price for your sins. You pay the price for all the wrongs that you have done, essentially, you know. And her death has paid for her sins, essentially. But I'm not saying that she's done like bad things, but maybe she's acted bad or poorly and made poor decisions. But at this point, the lady is no longer here, and I'm not going to be going off on Diana like that's all wrong. Why did you do that? I don't like you. Like, you know, I'm not doing that. Is because we know her true intentions, how she came in to this family was sincere and pure and vulnerable and innocent and just attractive. It was just a really great quality. And this is why so many people were just drawn to her. And this is how you can see the contrast with Meghan, how people are not drawn to Meghan because she's the opposite of that. She is the opposite of what Princess Diana was. So she's the extreme. You know, she's coming in at the year that Diana died, the age of Diana when she was dead. So Meghan, there's no comparison at all. And Diana is an original, and there will be no one ever like her ever again, because the era, the time that we live in is different. And so the circumstances of her coming in at her, you know, being so vulnerable to this institution, like that could never happen now. No one's going to base a marriage to be founded on the principles that Diana married into the royal family. It's just all different. I later realized that Martin picked on those vulnerabilities and exploited them. He was very persuasive with Diana. During her courtship with Mr. Khan, Diana initially referred to Bashir as Dr. Jarman, a secret name she gave him due to fears her telephone line was being tapped. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, you have to you got to be playing the game because you know people listening, and it's just like you don't want people listening to your conversations. According to M. Khan, Bashir manipulated the princess. I asked why, and she said because of William, Mr. Khan said. So, okay. If that is the case, I would certainly believe it because the boys were central to everything she did. Bashir, who remains in his post as religious affairs editor for the BBC, is currently signed off work while he recovers from quadruple heart bypass surgery and complications from having contracted COVID-19 last year. Oh my goodness. Jeez. Yeah, I guess they're going to have to put that on hold. The poor man has been going through some things, wouldn't you say? There have been no responses to requests from for comment to the BBC, Martin Bashir or his agent. The BBC has said that in his previous statement, the BBC has made it clear it will investigate any issues raised and that this will be independent. We will set out the terms of reference in due course. We will do everything possible to get to the bottom of this. And yes, they should get to the bottom of it. And I think that can say a lot about how we know that Diana, for the sake of the marriage and the difficulties that she had in the royal family, she was just too vulnerable to go into the situation. Diana came into this marriage with the royal family at a time when she just was essentially just taken in by this big conglomerate of history and tradition and rules and formality. And here is this little girl, naive and vulnerable and innocent to the world. And it gobbled her up, essentially. She came into it and it essentially ravished her. It took her and used her to bear children, and it used the it factor that she had for its own self amusement and self promotion or selfish reasons. And this is why people loved her so much. And I think Mr. Bashir would have probably at the same time have done what he could to get that interview, because it would essentially put him on the map. It would be one of his breakthrough interviews that really could help his own career. And if he had to forge documents to make things look a certain way so that Diana would believe it, I wouldn't put it past him. And it's so good to see that Hasnat has come through in Diana's death, come through and to take up for her and to say that's what happened. And in the end, although Diana is no longer here, she did find true love in the last years of her life. At least she had that experience. And it's an experience that would, should she have been alive today, she would still be very proud of the fact that Hasnat has never sold her out. And I think that is admirable. Just gotta love it. And all the people that are talking about Meghan and Harry on social media are ripping them to shreds, and they can't handle it. If they had all the love that they would be getting, like Princess Diana probably would, do you think they would quit social media if they had all the adoration? People were like, oh, we just love Harry and Meghan. You know, they would be like fueling that social media. Show me more. What you got, you know. But they like, oh, we can't take it. People hating on us too much. We got to quit. We got to say we don't even know what's out there. But the bigger picture and issue here is, what is it telling them about who they are? If people are hating on you so bad that you want to quit social media, does it maybe say, maybe something wrong with me? Do you think that might have crossed their minds? That maybe it's them? It's their actions and their attitude that people are speaking so strongly out against. But I really implore them to look closer at themselves and look at why people are hating on them so much. Maybe if they stop to say, we don't want to be on social media because people hate on us all the time. But maybe they should think, well, why are people hating on us? What is it about us that makes people hate us so much? Maybe that could be something that they could think about and do to really understand all the vitriol that they get all the time, because people are outraged and incensed with their attitudes and how they have behaved with this in the royal family. So I'm not sure that them quitting social media is really for real. I think they perpetrating.